And we're back.
We are back. Let's see.
Welcome one and all.
Oh my
It's
word.
so great to be with you again this blessed morning, the year of our Lord, 2020, the year of the outbreak.
We changed locations here, and so
I think it's better lighting wise.
yeah, now we're actually facing a window instead of being
Yeah.
in front of the window.
We're learning, people.
We're getting there. We can be taught. So, welcome to Thursday's edition of County Route Report.
This just in.
This is Chris, and I'm Linda, by the way.
Welcome so much.
And we
Welcomeness. So much welcome we extend to thee. Thou hast art welcometh heareth. I hath readeth a number of things to speaketh about it today, and I wanted to inviteth you ineth to our thoughteth as we look at the lettereth deeth. So I was thinking about what we're going to do today.
The question is, can you do that in Pig Latin instead of like Old English? King James version.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I could when I was younger. Hey, just small stuff before we get to the letter D. I'm wearing a special shirt today. Actually, okay, so here's the thing. When I put this shirt on, I thought a story that went with the shirt was connected to our 25th anniversary, which was 4 years ago. And on that 25th anniversary, because we already talked about anniversary, but the 25th anniversary, we went to San Francisco, and we went to Ed Hardy's tattoo shop. And for some stupid reason, I thought, and so we got a tattoo, 25 fifth till death. And so we each got that little sugar skull with 25 years memorial, which I thought was awesome. So I took my wife and we got a skull till death, and then I took her to prison, to Alcatraz, for our anniversary, which I just wanted her to know it's been like being in jail, being with you. So she's been trying to escape like Clint Eastwood in that one Alcatraz movie. Anywho, but this shirt is not that shirt. Like, I don't know what I was thinking when I put it on this morning. I thought, oh, cool, this is a great reminder of that awesome moment. But I wasn't even with her when she bought this shirt.
So what is the Golden Skull Tattoo is a parlor in
Vegas.
Vegas, yes. I was there visiting my I was there visiting my daughter and son-in-law right about the time that they had their son Oliver, our sweet little baby boy.
Yep.
And I wanted to go see the studio because this is owned by what's his name?
Clean Rock.
Clean Rock.
I know. I seriously just
Holy
had a brain
moly! We
fart
just
too.
had a major.
We're elderly.
we watch on a regular basis Ink Master every year. Every season we like to watch it. It's a tattoo kind of competition show.
I always thought they should have us on it, but yeah.
Have us on it?
Tattoos? No, being tattooed.
Oh, you can volunteer for that.
I did it all the time in the beginning. I mean, if the mother of 9 doesn't catch their interest, I don't know what will.
You volunteered me?
Of course I did.
I would not have volunteered. I am not going to go and have somebody tattoo something that I'm not choosing on my body.
Oh, you have satanic images all over you now. All right.
There's no way I would volunteer to be a canvas on that show.
Yeah, well, that's good for you because I volunteered you. But moving on.
That's why God's protected me.
Thug life.
But the Clean Rock has been on that show multiple times. Yeah. I think they... but we like him. We think he's a great tattooer, and it was fun to go into a studio. Of course, I didn't see him. I didn't see him. He wasn't there, but I did buy us each shirts. So,
which I squeezed into.
Isn't that the most exciting story in the world?
Well, I squeezed into, and it has nothing to do with our anniversary, which makes it extra funny to me. So, anyway. Here's another not D word that I was thinking about this morning. I showered for everyone. Not technically.
Did you brush your teeth? Is the question.
Let me just do my story. You can do your story. No, I didn't brush my teeth in the shower. I'm taking a shower. How many of you brush your teeth while you're taking a shower? I do that sometimes, actually. I think we talked about this the other day. How many of you go to the bathroom while you're taking a shower. But moving on. So here's an interesting thing. Let's see. The loofah. I know it's not. If I say the loofah, then it has a D. But who uses a loofah? Who can even spell loofah? In addition, I feel like the loofah is like, basically a petri dish of all things disgusting and disease riddled. That's what I think.
Have you looked into that? Because I've actually heard that like they think that using a bar of soap is gross because of the germs.
We're all sharing it.
Right, but
yeah, that is disgusting.
No, but I have heard recently, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that actually germs like really they don't really live on bars of soap. So
who comes up with this?
Like, I don't know. When you think about it, like if this virus is very fragile to where it breaks down, the fat. If it, a virus is coated in a thing of fat and that breaks down with soap, then how could the virus live on soap? It would be too fragile to live on soap, or Anyway,
that's actually hilarious. Seriously.
So, I think that anyway, what were we talking about?
The thing about loofahs is, okay, so let's pretend soap or loofahs don't necessarily carry the coronavirus. I could easily say if it's something caked and layered in a casing of fat, I'm afraid that could have been my CB handle. But the thing is that even if, first of all, it never dries fully in the shower.
You're supposed to
if it's hanging in a shower, there's so many people using our shower in our house that there's no way that a loofah could truly dry out. And even then, how many days do you use a loofah? Do you wash a loofah in the dishwasher? I mean, it's being caked in soap and body wash. So why would you need a dishwasher? But yet, it can probably smell soon. I'm just not sure a loofah is really for us.
We do have things called washcloths. Those actually do get washed.
Who uses a washcloth? Who uses a washcloth? So are you back to
using a bare bar of soap then?
I need exfoliation, Scott. Nobody needs to know that. Here's the thing: is that washcloths and loofahs, I think, are possibly unnecessary. I don't. First of all,
I think that loofahs, the danger is not that they're layered in fat; it's that they're layered in skin.
I'm layered in fat, not the loofah. What are you talking about fat and loofahs for?
You were talking about that, honey. He even said, "See, yes, caked in."
And layered
fat.
I don't think is that how you spell loofah, Brett? Luffa? I think that's not probably right. I had a feeling it was Loufa, Mouse. Lou. See you real soon. Anyway, washcloths, not a D word, but I've felt like washcloths have been unnecessary since the very beginning. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay?
Okay. Go ahead, say it.
I think they're unnecessary even from the beginning. Like, who really uses a washcloth? It just, to me, is weird. Like, again, I'm gonna take a piece of cloth and I'm gonna wet it, put stuff on it, and then scrub my body, and then hang it up in the shower for it to collect diseases.
I'm going delirious with boredom.
Oh, so anyway, let's go on to our letter today. What's the letter? By the way, I have my cup from Mr. Paget, Michael Paget, my father, and I'm going to bring up some of the books from Deborah maybe tomorrow, so you guys can check those out.
I did not have coffee today because I felt like I needed to not have a third cup of coffee right now.
Really? I don't know why. I mean, you're definitely needing to pick it up a little bit during the show.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I keep messing
Delts.
up here.
Where's a delt when you think about a muscle? Where is a delt muscle? Huh? What's it? Where's a delt? Isn't that a muscle? A delt?
Where do you see that?
I was just stretched and I felt all my muscles constrict.
Is there a delt muscle?
Deltoid, right? Isn't or a delt? Do you want to start the show officially? Let's do something.
I got a couple D words today.
Hey, welcome.
I
So the letter
found
for the day is D.
I actually struggled yesterday. C's kind of just flowed, but the
Yeah.
D has been a little bit more difficult.
Nice.
So, but well, of course, what I was thinking was deltoid.
Thanks, Sarah.
And Sarah Scott said the same thing. So I was thinking
Scott doesn't. I'm not going to trust Scott for information on freaking muscles. When you look at Scott, you don't think muscle. I don't mean that in that way, but you think friend. Crushed it, saved it.
I got a good D word for you right now.
Yeah,
all right.
Deliberate.
We have daffodil,
Scott,
daisies.
I love you. I wasn't trying to be.
We are actually very big fans of Scott Anthony.
We love him.
But okay, so
daffodils and
daisies, and dandelions.
Oh,
D. Because
gosh, this
today,
is gonna be a boring subject.
Yesterday and today we have beautiful sun here in central New York, and it was a little cool. And today's a little cool and windy. So last night we had to go out and work on some fencing stuff and sheep, and it was cold. It was chilly. That wind was cold.
It's windy out right now, actually.
But we do have daffodils coming up, which is the earliest. This is just the beginning of April. I feel like this is pretty early for us to get daffodils. Thankfully, it's been a warm spring, even though we've had chaos here. So, doofus.
Hey, listen.
That's a good word.
Yes. I'm sorry. I just texted you, Scott, to apologize. So, here's the thing.
So there you go. Deltoid is you used to shrug your shoulders. So you've been working on that.
Oh, dude, my deltoids are like delightful and delicious and developed. Look at us. We're exercising. All right. So anyway, let's kind of get to the heart of the matter. When it comes time for you during spring, do you get excited when you see the daffodils and the daisies?
They are the first sign of spring. So
you like it? You get all excited about that?
I get very excited. I cleaned out my flower beds yesterday and saw all the little. I think it's daylilies are actually coming up too. So that's really awesome.
I think it's almost beginning a little exhausting trying to do everything with D. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, poor thing.
Here's the thing.
Exercising.
The thing about flowers. I mean, I like them a little bit, but I don't. If I'm going to spend money, I want to spend money on something that's important, like books. Like I feel like spending money on flowers is like a taste of dunny.
So we relocated for this show. We relocated to the second floor, and as you can see, we still have books behind us. They're all over the place.
That's good.
They are, yes. They just don't leave us.
Here's actually I have a serious topic with D that we have to talk about today. I want to talk about the double knot. I know this seems weird, but I was tying my shoe today.
This is a serious topic?
Yes, it is. It's a serious topic. So when I was tying my shoe...
Donuts, Scott. That's a good one, too.
A good one. Listen, let's talk about the double knot. When I was a kid, okay, do not make fun of me because I'm going to tell a story. When I was a kid, I learned how to tie my shoe like a lot of other people.
Go ahead.
Like a lot of people learn how to tie the shoe. Now, I didn't do the whole, like, rabbit going through the whole crap. No, I mean, this was in the 70s. Nobody was trying to make this simple. Okay, in the 70s, we're like, you want to learn your shoe, like pretend you're in some sort of like communist Russia and you have to survive and crawl through this hole for survival. It was no rabbit.
Rabbit.
And look at the noose is going around your neck. So how are you going to survive? Anyway,
and it would have been the USSR, not Russia.
That's true, actually. So anyway, double knot. So I hated the double knot. First of all, here's why I hated the double knot. If your shoe came off, I could not undo the double knot fast enough, to like get the shoe on in time. And it's so honestly, I didn't like it. Then there was always that kid in school that never tied their shoes. He's like walking around like he's completely unaware that his shoelaces are undone. And everybody who's like obsessive compulsive or type A basically is going to be like, oh my gosh, what? Why tie your shoelaces? You're going to fall down. Now, just so you know, in my life as an adult, there's been many times I've walked around with my shoelaces untied. And here's the thing. I can't reach down and tie them, let alone double knot them. Because if I reach down to do that, I'm going to pass out from the lack of blood going through my brain. Basically, it's cutting off the supply of oxygen, and I'll pass out, right? And so so at some point you have to recognize, okay,
Velcro.
screw it, forget the shoe. This is why old people wear Velcro shoes.
Actually, I got a D word. Dock shoes. Don't those just slip on like?
Kind of. They have that,
shoes?
but who knows how to do
You
that
can
little
tie
little
them
tie thing
before.
at the end. I don't
You
even know
tie
how to
them
do
and
that.
you can
That's
double
just
knot them
some
there, and then
con.
you just slip them on.
Go back
Dock
to double
shoes.
knot. But
Yeah.
see, the double knot, I never did the double knot, okay? Because of the process of how long it could take to undo a double knot. Well, today I had to do a double knot on my shoes.
Why today?
Because the shoelaces are so long.
Oh yeah. So that's for me
That's
my
the
issue.
thing.
My shoelaces are so long usually because I actually have probably my feet is the only part of my body that's skinny still, and so my shoelaces are usually too long. You have very wide feet.
Okay, there we go. There's a
so
slam. So if there's someone who's got feet that need to go to fat camp, it's you. The thing is that Linda, you've said this before, but you think that a lot of people have a shoe fetish. That's not the right word now that I think about it. Once I said it out loud.
Women love shoes. Here's my philosophy on why women love to buy shoes.
Distillation.
Because your feet is the one thing that the size rarely changes.
I think I've made my feet change size.
So
before.
like women have, as we get older, we get wider, and if we're upset with things, the size is changing. And so
Stop, nobody can see that, and
I
you're
can't,
acting like you have like the medication. Take your medication.
But shoes never change. They never change. Your feet never change, or very rarely ever change. And so buying shoes is something that you can go to the store and it still fits. That size still fits.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 100%
and you won't
true
outgrow
for me.
them. It's for women. I said for women. I specified.
But why would men's feet get fatter and women's feet not? I mean, it just seems
I didn't
like
say that
feet...
they do. I just say that that's women stereotypically, women are the ones who like to buy shoes. Even though we've been through phases. I think I have more shoes than you do right now, but we have been through phases where you have had way more shoes than me.
But it's not like I went and bought brand new shoes. It's usually that I'll find them at like a thrift store, and I think, oh, that's kind of cool. I could try that. But if we have 4 boys. I almost said 5. And we have 4 boys, and most of my boys, their feet are near my size. So they can use them.
All my girls, besides Ella, wear the same size shoe as I do. So they are always stealing my shoes. Okay.
All right. So
we've talked about
daisies and
double knots.
How many of you have, since you were little, have done double knots with your shoes? I remember learning how to do a square knot when I was a kid. At like Cub Scouts or something.
Yeah, I learned how to do a square knot. Mm-hmm.
I still use
for my karate belt. There was this particular knot. I watched a show recently where these kids were doing karate, and I looked, and their belt was tied horrendously.
Stupid kids.
Honey, there's a certain way to tie a karate belt, and that was not it.
Yeah.
All right, we have.
Don't some people's feet grow during pregnancy? I'm glad you asked. I have an
They can.
answer
As
for
I
that,
said,
Sarah.
Rarely, but 9 pregnancies, my feet are the same size as they've always been. But
but my feet
or
have
they
changed.
grow maybe a half a size. But I think that it can happen, but rarely.
You do double knot your shoelaces, Scott? That seems weird to me. There's so many things that I'm worried about with you right now. The more that you disclose, the more that I'm concerned. And why do we need to double knot our shoes if nobody's really allowed to leave the house? Are we done with double?
I think we're done with this topic.
Gosh, there we go. Disappointment. Yeah. That's a D word. And what you just saw was my wife being disappointed in me. So there you go. That's real marriage right there. What's another D word that you want to talk about today?
I have a couple more serious ones, but you could probably turn them into not serious. I'm sure.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna take this very, very serious. But somebody did say distillation, and I want to say thank you for bringing up alcohol. I'm just curious. Is there anybody out there who basically does?
Is it distillation?
Distillation. Not distillation.
Okay. Distill.
Like distill.
Yeah, distillation.
Like where's distill at?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, how many of you guys make your own wine or make your own beer? Some of you guys probably make your own prison wine. It was so good when I was in prison, I wanted to keep doing it when I finally got out. Prison wine, prison wine. Anyway.
You guys are encouraging him with all those happy faces.
Boy. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about a little bit more serious stuff. So we've talked about some really important issues today,
Like
daffodils and double knots and distillation. So
I just thought I wanted to say, since D word, I think one of the most important D words in our society is dads.
oh, I like that word too, actually.
Dads, and that so you've talked quite a bit about your dad, the artist he's done beautiful work like the cup.
Like the cup.
Another
bunch of other
that.
great pieces of art.
I wanted to share a picture of my dad today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a great
this is
picture,
a funny picture of him. So, oh my
Nobody
goodness,
can see it.
There it goes. There it goes. That's my dad.
His name was Barnum and Bailey, and
his name was Gilbert. I've named my tool table, my workbench in the garage after him, Gilbert. In this picture, he was the worshipful master of Masonic Lodge in Bradenton, Florida.
Yeah, now everybody's completely
I
terrified.
know. And so, but you know what? We have a mixed group here. And so I think that I love that most Catholics are kind of shocked to know that I grew up in a Masonic family. Actually, my grandfather was a Mason. That was my entire childhood. My kids, every once in a while.
Your grandfather was a Mason?
Yes.
I didn't know that, actually.
I'm not sure how active he was. I didn't really know my grandfather very well, but my kids, every once in a while, I think of, these, I feel bad, like making my kids do certain things like, move cattle fencing and things like that. But then I think I was tortured my whole childhood.
I can't believe you're going to talk about your childhood now.
Sitting in Masonic lodges with all the ceremony and all that stuff that we've had to do all the way through. But my dad died in 2002, right before we left Florida and moved to Ohio. So I don't know, lately I've been thinking about him. I think that partly I don't know why this has brought him up maybe a little bit. I think maybe our the prayer that we had with the Holy Father, but and then Noah, my son, cleaned my workbench really well. So, but yeah, dads, and I think that is. I think the truth is that my dad, we did not have a good relationship. It was a very difficult relationship. I think my younger sister had even more difficult relationship with him because I had left. My attitude is basically, I'm done with you, I'm out of here. And my sister takes things a lot more personal and emotional, and so she, I think, reaped a lot more difficulty or struggle with that relationship. But after all these years of passing, I think it is important to think of the positive things, not to sugarcoat difficulty, but to think of the positive things of our dads. And
the thing about this is one of the things that's interesting, especially for people who are Catholic and find out that your family was so strong in the Masonic order, is there's probably a sense of shock and terror. But I do think that there's a lot of it explains why we have such a strong devotion to Saint Maximilian Kolbe, because he, of course, did such important work in talking about the beauty of devotion to Mary, and he gave his life at Auschwitz for a guy who had a family. There's a lot of reasons to be endeared to him, but he also did a lot of work to kind of fight the lies of the Masonic order. It's interesting how though your father was very difficult to be around, even for people within the Masons, people who knew him.
I don't think most of his Masonic friends liked him.
He was probably one of the grumpiest persons I had ever met. But yet, it's interesting because near the end of his life, we got a chance to spend some time with him. And I really do cherish the effort that we made to try and build relationships with him, even though it was so difficult. Because in the end, you get your family. That's what you have. And I've been very privileged to be able to grow in my relationship with my father for a few decades now. It's been so special to me. And in some ways, I think you were kind of robbed of that. But yet we got those little moments and those glimpses to just cherish. I think that's probably why that table downstairs that you named after your dad is so special, maybe to all of us, is that it's the perfect place that he would have loved to have been.
He would have, completely have loved to have that. Look at me, I'm getting emotional. All right, we can
It's good.
It's
It's
good.
good to
So
be.
I just think that, we have in this crazy time, it's important to remember really some of the most crucial individuals of our society are dads
Yeah.
and the role that they play in their family. And so
Yeah.
my
So
kids are lucky.
we are very blessed to have my dad involved in their life as a as
Right?
a
I mean, we
as a
have some good
grandfather, and
grandfathers. Yes. Uh huh.
Cole, Mr. Cole,
Yeah.
Grandpa Cole, and
Mm
I'm trying to be a pretty good grandpa too. It's
hmm.
it's
Mm
not
hmm.
it's not as easy as they
Yeah.
made it look. Um, so I don't know about you. Maybe your parents are passed, or maybe one of them still alive. But just going out of your way and being thankful for them, that's a great gift to give, and so don't take them for granted. I love the app Marco Polo because we keep in touch with a lot of our family members, including my
Mm hmm.
dad and Deborah. We use this app all the time, and if you've
We
not
have on the
seen it,
channel on YouTube. We have a video about why we
it's
like
the beach ball
Marco
one.
Polo,
Yeah.
and but this app I think has been around. We at least discovered it way before things like Zoom or the other ones that have probably become more popular
Yeah.
now. But we really do like
Well, the Marco
that.
Polo is it's like a video walkie-talkie, so you can
Right.
just get in touch when you have time, and it's nice to see each other's faces. So
Right. That's what I love about the app is that it is on
yeah.
your time. I
By the
can
way, we're
leave
not sponsored
messages.
by Marco
We
Polo.
should be because
We
we have
should be. We've
referred
done.
so many people to that app. It's a
Yeah.
great thing for connecting with families.
Yep.
So
I love that.
and
That was a good segment though, Dad. So thank you for
okay.
that. What about you? What's a great story you remember from your dad? It's funny how you can think of certain, I don't know, parts of your childhood and it's so connected to your father. What would that look like? I know for you it's funny again, go to that bench downstairs and you just immediately think Gilbert. That makes a lot of sense because he loved to tinker and he always had like a little shed or a place that he would put all his junk, and
Yeah.
he was a little bit of a hoarder when it came to
Yeah.
tools, and so it was kind of cool. It makes a lot of sense. I think about pottery and clay a lot with my father. There was always a table in the house where he was working, and made his own clay, and he had the kiln in the house, and so ceramics. And then of course they now have a really beautiful little studio that is separate from the main house, and it's
Right.
gorgeous.
I
Deborah
wouldn't say
does her
little.
painting and her writing
It's
upstairs,
a pretty
and he
nice
does
building.
the potter's wheel in the downstairs. And
Yeah.
anyway, so it's kind of neat. I'm sure that my kids are gonna, when they think back on Dad, they're gonna think complete butt crack. Okay, so I mentioned this last night on my little insomniac report, but I yesterday we moved the sheep from the one pen to
From the goats.
from the goat
We
area.
separated the sheep and the
We
goats
said
yesterday.
it was the final judgment, and so I picked up the sheep, and I thought I was gonna die. Basically, it was just insane. I don't know what I was thinking, and then he kept wanting to run away, and uh, but I asked my son to take video while we were moving the sheep,
Mhm.
and I looked at just a couple of seconds of it, and I realized this is there's so much butt crack here that if we actually tried to post that, we would just have to blur the
Censored.
entire
We'd be
image.
censored.
There would be nobody would be allowed to even watch the video. It would be banned from Facebook. It was horrible. I mean, my pants lost the will to care in the middle of moving that sheep. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you were ridiculous.
What do you
Picking
mean?
up the sheep.
How
These
you-
girls are not light. They have their winter wool on.
I know they're not light.
And they're almost full size. And so, like, that was crazy of you to do that.
I'm exhausted. It's just thinking about that. It's got me like winded.
But we moved the sheep because we wanted to put them in an area that last year we couldn't mow because of the grass, because it was so wet last spring. If you guys remember last spring, it was so wet. I don't think we could actually mow our yard until almost July. It was so wet.
Right.
The grass was out of control. And so we never was able to mow that last year, and the sheep are there, and they're going to eat.
Eat apples and bananas. Do you remember that? What show was that from?
I know. Do you know?
I know.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do I know? Oat, apples and bananas. Does anybody know what that was part of a kids show? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Barney.
Barney.
Was
Yeah.
Barney.
It was Barney.
All right,
But
so
it was like the 90s
yeah.
Barney. Yeah.
What does that mean? Speckled versus unblemished? Are we talking about? Oh, are we talking about the sheep? Yeah, that's right, Sarah. So here's the thing. D.
Barney.
Is there any other D things that we're doing?
Well, I have a couple
We
words.
have basically we have about a minute left.
Okay, I have doctors.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, I don't want to talk about doctors.
Well,
but thank
we
God
can be
for
yes.
doctors.
I'm saying we at this point can be appreciative.
Man.
But I saw a picture
I
on
don't want to
Facebook
see
the
any
other day.
doctors.
I saw a picture on Facebook the other day that we've been praying for nurses and doctors who are working in the front lines. But I saw a picture of there are individuals who clean the hospitals. Like there's a staff of individuals who
I
work at the
know.
hospitals who aren't like aren't in the spotlight as being the great helpers, but these individuals, I mean, they're right there in the front lines.
know.
Also, they just don't have the jobs that maybe are getting the glory at this point.
I
So
know.
again, we should pray for all people in the front lines,
Ugh.
not just doctors and nurses.
Detention. That's funny, Joe. I spent most of my childhood in detention. It felt like so.
Did you really?
Are you gonna make fun of me because I'm bringing up something from childhood?
No, I'm trying to think. Did you actually spend most of your childhood in detention? I didn't as a kid. It was in high school. I probably had detention.
Of course, it's an exaggeration,
Oh.
but I got detention a lot.
Okay, another D word I wrote down that came to mind today was digging, because
We should have put that with the flowers. Disinfecting. Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're doing today.
But what about digging?
Digging?
What are we
Because
digging?
I was thinking today I want to make the kids do some digging. I want our chickens need to have another layer of dirt in their yard. So I was going to have the kids go find dirt somewhere else on the earth on our yard and put it in there. Put it in the chicken yard. Digging. I hate digging, and I know the kids hate digging because
it's difficult.
Work. It's difficult. It's hard work.
It's hard. Well,
Yes.
we have a lot of rocks here too, so you start digging, you think, oh, good, and then
It's
you're
like clunk.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
useless. The thing is, going back to something, what were we talking about? Oh, doctors. I wanted to say, it's just like I don't want to even think about having the medical. I'm afraid to even go right now to have my blood drawn. I'm supposed to have my blood drawn, maybe once or twice a month. I haven't gone for a while, and I need to go because I'm supposed to have my blood at a certain thinness. But I'm just afraid to even go out of the house and go into a building that is for medical purposes. And I think about all of these doctors and nurses that every single day they're in that world. Like it's a little overwhelming. I can't even imagine the emotional exhaustion that means for them and their families. We have a daughter who's a nurse. We have a family member that's a doctor, and boy, oh boy, I think God's given them a lot of grace to endure that.
Okay,
So,
last thing before we wrap up. It's another serious one, but I thought it's a good D word.
yeah, what?
Depression.
Oh,
This is a
That's a
time
good
I think
thing.
a lot of people probably are going to start struggling with this as things settle in and realize, okay, this isn't going away as fast as I wanted it to, or the first week was eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die, and so you party, then all of a sudden you're starting to feel the effects of, okay, I'm not sleeping well enough, I'm not eating well enough, I'm not
Yeah.
moving enough. And so it's so easy for your mind to start getting darkened and to start thinking and get more depressive thoughts. And I just want to encourage you, one is to seek help, reach out to people and seek help, even if it has to be obviously digital, but just to seek help there for the depression, and to not lose hope.
Yeah.
There is hope.
Well, the thing is, and I'm kind of glad that you really brought this up, because I think that for some people who are introverted, it's maybe not as huge of a deal to be away from people, to be kind of in your own little world. That's great. But for some people who are extroverts, it's a lot harder. But if you add to this addiction and the need for classes to help navigate through depressions and whatever. I mean, addictive personalities, you can almost feel like you've been thrown into the sea. And if you have that melancholy spirit, or if you find that you add to the mix just anxiety, worrying that you're going to get sick, yeah, it's a breeding ground for a lot of depression and despair. So I think ultimately we're here. Obviously, we're here, and if there's anything we can pray for you, if you're
Yeah.
a person who appreciates prayers, every night we as a family do prayer, and we try to include everybody's prayer requests. And so if you want to leave that in the comments below, we're going to remember
Or
you.
private message
Or
us through
private
Happy
message
Place.
us. If you're struggling with depression and you just need to be connected to a community, for the most part, we're going to try to do this every day at noon Eastern Standard Time, just to build a community. We have at Happy Place Homestead a little private community. If you want to be a part of that, you can click and join. It's free. And in fact, we're going to be working on just some special content for people who have subscribed to these. You know, it's not like we're just starting this for the first time. We've been doing content for really for the last few years, a lot of content. And so if there's anything that you feel like you could use right now, some encouraging insights and words, let us know. We'll be glad to create some content that I think can be a blessing. So I'm thinking about doing a little comedy show coming up. I'm not sure how that's going to look yet. We might just set up the stage and the lighting and put my kids in the front row to make it look like there's a crowd. But we love you. We love our families. Good to see you, Billy and Carrie. We sure do miss you guys. For those of you who are feeling alone, let us know how we can be a blessing in your life. I think we'll go tomorrow. We're going to modify the time.
Yes.
So tomorrow,
important message.
tomorrow it's going to be at 11 Eastern Standard Time. And the reason for that is that I have to be on and do some work with the Diocese of Denver tomorrow, which I'm excited about seeing my friends there on Zoom. So, but we'll do our county route report 11 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, where we look at the letter E, C B C D E, and we look forward to seeing everyone for that. All right.
All right. Thanks,
Have a great
guys.
day. We love you.